Good day and welcome once again to the afternoon update here at the Information Command Center. We're coming to you from the studios of the Government Information Service. Welcome our listeners, our viewers, for regular updates regarding government response to COVID-19, as well as our recovery efforts to date. We're on NTN, as well as the Government of Saint Lucia's Facebook page and YouTube and WVNT 93.5 FM. Today we have with us a very special in-studio guest, and you'll meet this individual in a moment. But first, our regular daily updates. Just coming into hand, we have statutory instrument number 91, and over the last few days we've heard several discussions in regards to the state of emergency which currently exists here in Saint Lucia. Well, as of the 15th day of June 2020, that's this coming Monday, the curfew has been extended. It's now going to be from 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. daily, and that is from the 15th of June up until the 30th of September. So that's as per SI number 91. And of course, St. Lucians are reminded not to let down their guard and become complacent in light of the threat of COVID-19. Here is the latest update on our situation from the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Sharon Belmar George.
As of June 9, 2020, the World Health Organization reported a total of 7,039,918 confirmed cases of COVID-19 globally, with 404,396 deaths. Within the region of the Americas, there was a total of 3,366,251 cases. On June 10, 2020, the Ministry of Health and Wellness received the results of the COVID-19 tests which were conducted this week. All of the 60 samples which returned were negative. To date, Saint Lucia has recorded a total of 19 confirmed cases of COVID-19. 18 of those cases have fully recovered. The last case was a repatriated cruise national and was recorded on June 4, 2020. We have conducted a total of 1,264 tests to date. The Ministry of Health and Wellness, we caution St. Lucians not to become complacent as it relates to adhering to the physical distancing and the infection prevention and control measures. St. Lucians are asked to avoid participating in large social gatherings and to remain vigilant and continue taking the necessary precautions. By doing so, we can all play a significant part in protecting the lives of our families, friends, and the most vulnerable population. The Ministry of Health and Wellness, we remind the public that we anticipate new cases and therefore we must comply with the guidelines established in order to reduce any possible transmission of COVID-19. The support of every citizen is required in maintaining the recommended infection prevention and control and physical distancing measures. We encourage everyone to continue sanitizing your hands by hand washing and the use of alcohol-based hand sanitizer, to wear your homemade mask while undertaking daily activities out of home, and to maintain the required 6-foot distance. Also, be sure to cover your mouth and nose when coughing and sneezing. The Ministry of Health and Wellness, we will continue providing regular updates on COVID-19.
And that was the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Sharon Belmar George, with the latest update with regards to St. Lucia's position under our state of emergency as well as our response to COVID-19. Earlier today, we also heard from the Chief Environmental Health Officer, Parker Ragnanan, on the Public Health Act. Let's take a listen to what he had to say on that issue.
The Public Health Act came into force in 1975, and thereafter the following regulations were enacted under this act. The nuisance regulation SI 10 of 1978, the Offensive Trades Regulation, SI 11 of 1978, Communicable and Notifiable Disease Statutory Instrument number 12 of 1978, Barbershop Regulations, SI 13 of 1978, Water Quality Control, SI 14 of 1978, Apartments, Guest Houses, Hotels, SI number 15 of 1978 and amended in 1983. Swimming Pools Regulation, SI 16 of 1978, Notifications of Births, SI 17 of 1978, Bakeries Regulation, SI 18 of 1978, Transportation of Human Remains, SI 19 of 1978, Barracks and Tenements, SI 20 of 1978, Disposable of Offensive Matter, SI 21 of 1978, Sewage and Disposable of Sewage and Liquid Industrial Waste Works, SI 22 of 1978, Slaughterhouse Regulation, SI 69 of 1980, the Food Regulation, SI 70 of 1980. Given this changing environment and increased demands, the Ministry of Health and Wellness have been actively pursuing the amendment of both the Public Health Act and regulations over the past 10 to 15 years. During that period, there were extensive consultation with a wide cross-sector of society and major stakeholders, which guided the preparation of the final document. These efforts were finally realized in July 2019 when the Public Health Act was amended and made provisions that include but not limited to the following areas: beauty and wellness center, spa, massage parlor, body art facility, prohibiting or restricting the smoke from tobacco or tobacco products in public places. In February 2020, amendments to all the regulations outlined above were enacted. The revised legislation made provision for greater enforcement capability for key public health issues that are relevant and current in the development of the country. Under ideal conditions, regulations should be reviewed and amended at least every 10 years to ensure they are relevant to a changing environment and they allow for adequate enforcement. However, neither the Public Health Act nor enabling regulations have had any substantial review and amendment over the past 40 plus years. During this extended period, there have been extensive changes to the developmental landscape of Saint Lucia, resulting in major environmental impacts that adversely affects the health and well-being of the population. Also, Saint Lucia has signed on to a number of international treaties, including the World Trade Organization, international health regulations, the International Convention for the Prevention of Pollution from Ships, the emergence of new infectious diseases over the years, such as H1N1 and Ebola, has placed increased burden in ensuring management measures are in place to control the spread of these diseases. Further, the demands being placed on the Ministry of Health continue to amass, and there is high expectation by the public that there will be adequate response and resolution to their needs. With regards to the nuisance and offensive and hazardous trade regulations, the Environmental Division have registered approximately 2,045 public health complaints over the past 5 years. The nature of the majority of these complaints lodged by the public have to do with the following: odor nuisance, wastewater disposal, solid waste disposal, air pollution, vectors including mosquito and rodent nuisances, animal rearing, pig pens and chicken coops, dog kennels, overhanging trees and vegetation, charcoal pit, mold growth, occupational health and safety, bed bug infestation, noise pollution, defective septic tanks, food handling, derelict vehicles, smoke pollution, excreta disposal, and dead animals. There has also been a significant increase in the number of trades which are categorized as offensive trades under the Public Health Act. The amendments are meant to address public health impacts of such trade in residential and highly populated areas. The public health impacts from many of these trades continue to create nuisances that adversely impact the health of citizens, including vulnerable individuals with pre-existing medical conditions. Moreover, the regulation seeks to create a balance where such trades can be carried out in a manner that will minimize the impact on public health, taking into consideration that there is no clear-cut zoning, as most areas contain mixed-use land development in Saint Lucia. The spraying of vehicles, animal rearing, charcoal making, for example, in residential areas, where the operators do not have adequate facilities to contain the hazards emanating from their operation, continue to adversely affect the health of residents in these areas. This has resulted in the Ministry of Health being inundated with complaints. It is noteworthy that these activities have not only been the subject of many public health complaints, they have also proven to be extremely difficult to regulate and resolve. Therefore, the amendment has brought these activities under a legislative framework and allow for greater capability to enforce, thereby reducing the health impacts to employees and persons living in close proximity to these operations. It is clearly stated in the Offensive Trade Regulation of 1978, Section 3, that 1, a person shall not establish an offensive trade without first making application to the Public Health Board. An application shall be in writing stating 1, the name and address of the person responsible for carrying on this offensive trade, the nature of such trade, and the address of the proposed premises. The Public Health Board or the Board of Public Health, before issuing a license, shall cause the premise to be examined. Therefore, the amended Offensive and Hazardous Trade Regulations, SI 80 of 2020, now strengthens the above stated position.
A very lengthy but necessary insert there as the Chief Environmental Health Officer sought to explain the new legislation as far as the Public Health Amendment Act. Mr. Ragnanan also placed into perspective the changing landscape when it comes to land usage and balancing residential areas and places where persons conduct business. Let us listen to what he had to say on that particular subject.
What we have said is that Saint Lucia do not have a clear land zoning policy. And therefore, in many instances, what we have is mixed-use developments in many of the communities. As a result, there needs to be some kind of balance to allow for the coexistence of the types of development within communities. Very often, we have had situations where you have had certain types of development in place. For example, an area may have been an agricultural area, and therefore you have agricultural practices or agricultural husbandry taking place in that locality. But over time, the use for that area changes from agriculture, becomes residential. And therefore what you have is residential development starts in these areas. And very often what the outcome is that when people begin to live in areas in close proximity to agricultural practices, especially animal husbandry, there becomes conflict. So we get complaints, you know, persons are not maintaining their pig pens or their chicken coops and such. What the amendments seek to do is seek to establish a policy, a regime where persons are licensed to conduct their business. When this is in place, it therefore means that if you have a duly authorized license to operate a certain category of business, and somebody comes and builds a house next to your business, then they have no leg to stand on, indicating that you're affecting them at this point.
Because you're registered.
Because you're registered, you're working in conformity to some regulations, and not just registered, but also we recognize that with development, the conflicts are real.
And of course, one of the areas that has stirred much debate and discussion where the Public Health Amendment Act is concerned is the whole issue of charcoal making. But again, the Chief Environmental Officer has put this whole subject matter into context for us.
People are of the view, for example, that charcoal making is something that you do in the forest. However, what we have been saying is that it's getting closer and closer to where people live. And people complain to us all the time that they cannot open their windows at home, they cannot breathe properly, they have elderly parents with underlying medical conditions, respiratory problems and so forth, and they have no respite in that situation. They complain about hanging their clothes on lines, it smells like smoke, and we get numerous complaints from the making of charcoal. The whole intention is to bring it under certain regulation. It's not to stop people from making charcoal or producing coal. That is not the intention of the new regulations. As a matter of fact, Section 18 of the new regulations gives powers to the Public Health Board whereby they can exempt a business place, a particular category of businesses from the provisions of these regulations. Okay. So the intention of the regulation is not to prevent persons from engaging in certain activities, but rather to ensure that it is done in a sustainable manner and that persons can enjoy a certain level of comfort.
So I hope that after these words, these remarks, that the public has a better understanding of what this Public Health Amendment Act actually seeks to do, especially in light of all of the debate, the discourse with regards to charcoal, the making of coals, and putting things in place so that not only are persons who are being affected will be taken care of, but also the persons who are engaging in those practices, that they'll be better able to be in a position to practice what they're doing with safety guards and so on, and so that we all able to live in an environment where we're in harmony, that persons in residential areas doesn't conflict with someone engaging in poultry and what have you, because we all know what happens in these circumstances. The other thing I was able to speak to Mr. Ragnanan about this morning, the other area that has popped up on social media, is in regards to printing and photography. And in my discussions with Mr. Ragnanan this morning, the photography they were alluding to under this act had to do with photography in terms of where you had photos being printed, the use of chemicals and what have you. My understanding, and in my discussion with him this morning, this does not apply to someone using a digital camera, going out, taking scenic shots and what have you. It does not apply in this area. And he also stated that the act gives the department the leeway to engage certain areas as well as to restrict on the one hand, but also to exempt on the other hand. So it is not to say that this is something that's going to restrict persons from engaging in photography or any of the other areas that's been discussed or that's been presented under this new amendment. So I'm sure that the discussion on this will be ongoing, but I hope that folks, take heed to the correct information, what the act is seeking to do, who it is looking to protect. So it's not simply a matter of trying to penalize persons for doing something that is wrong, but trying to safeguard Saint Lucia as a whole, as a society. So that was our daily update today. As I mentioned earlier on, we have in studio with us our guest, and we'll also be joined on our telephone line by another guest. But let me first say welcome to our guest in studio, Mr. Werner Semi Francis.
Thank you, Tony.
Welcome.
Thank you once again.
We had you on here when? In March, I think it was?
Yeah.
When folks were in total lockdown,
That's
24-hour
right, 24-hour
curfew.
lockdown.
At the time, we were discussing the COVID song,
Right.
the COVID response
That's
song
right.
that you involved with Ronald Boyington
Correct.
and several other artists. As a matter of fact, it's a song that has become a hit with some of our overseas viewers and listeners to this
Wow.
program. They always request that we play that song during our breaks here on the
Wow,
program.
okay.
So I think you guys did an excellent job on that.
Wonderful.
Before we discuss, you have a new song out right now. Before we get into that, I cannot have you and not discuss other matters I'm pretty
Okay.
sure you'll be able to engage in.
Sure.
Let us talk first of all as an artist, as an entertainer. Of course, with the closing down of hotels, restaurants, you're a regular performer at Big Chef.
Right,
It
yeah.
is. And definitely something that really hit you hard.
Absolutely. I mean, from 6 nights a week, 7 nights a week to 0 nights, that is definitely, it's not just financial, but it's also your emotional, stability as well. Because there's nothing, like you wake up in the morning and nothing to look forward to really.
Right,
And
right.
we are creatures of the night as well. So the day is all right, but when the night comes, you just feel like, gosh, you want to, you need to be out, but you're stuck inside, and it's a couple. The first week it's a holiday, but
Right,
after
right.
1 week it becomes a prison. So it has been difficult, I must admit.
Many years ago as well, you worked on one of the cruise ships.
Yes.
Yes. When you heard what was happening with some of our employees on those cruise ships out there, what came to mind? Having been on those cruise ships, having that experience, what was the first thing that came to your mind?
I remember the days at sea. I hated those days, man. Those were the days where you didn't go to any ports. You were just on the water. And those were the days we really didn't like, because it felt like a prison. You just floating on the water. Even if people say, well, you're on a ship, you have everything, blah blah blah, you have food, you have drink. Yeah, but still, that being on land, touching base, and I really felt for those guys on the ship, being on there for over 3 months, some of them.
Yes.
And even you could see land, but you're not allowed to go into the ports, and it must have been really hard.
Have you had any interaction with
Yes,
any of them out there, or any of those who have come back?
Absolutely,
What has that interaction been like?
Some of them, they were able to dig into the spirituality, and there's one of my neighbors who was on there, so he plays with I think the Bowers, Slack, the bass player.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so he was one of those. Aurelia, Ski Aurelia. He told me what kept him going is communicating with family. I'll check on him sometimes, just send him a WhatsApp. You say he's okay, and I watched the keyboard, was it Zachary, I think, or one of the guys plays keyboards. He always did his post on Facebook, so we would interact and so on. But all in all, I think it was a hard time. I saw Annie Payne, and those guys are stuck somewhere.
Yes. And Face Calix as
And
well.
Face Calix, yeah. So that must be really hard, because you can't get to your home, and you have no idea when you're going to get there. So it's like having no control. So what you're going to do,
And it's a very difficult situation. That's why the government has they brought in over 1,000
Yes.
of our nationals from overseas. But when you have those cruise liners all over in Malaysia,
That's right.
Europe, Miami,
Yeah.
all over, to coordinate that,
coordinate,
you have to work
oh, yes.
in tandem with the cruise liners as well.
That is
And you also have to
difficult.
realize that some of the borders closed.
Yes,
You know,
yes,
so
yes.
getting folks, I think Annie and Faith, they're somewhere in Malaysia, I think that's where
Yeah,
they are right
down.
now. So it is not an easy
Right.
task getting
Right,
everyone home. I mean, no one would like to be out there
Yes,
for so long.
yes.
And I don't think any government in their right mind would
Yeah,
deliberately want
no,
to
you wouldn't. You wouldn't.
keep our citizens out there.
you
So I know
wouldn't.
the efforts.
I think I saw from the reports our ambassador in England,
Yes.
Mr. Guy Mayers.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's done a tremendous job in helping get the
Right,
our
right.
folks back home. So,
Yeah, last weekend we had one set coming in. We had another set of nationals coming in on Wednesday on JetBlue.
right.
You know, so those efforts
It
are
has to be pretty
continuing.
hard because you have to they have to go into quarantine.
Yes,
So
that's
you
the other
have to,
aspect
yeah,
of it.
that's it. So,
Yeah.
so even for them, it's still, but at least they're home now. But then,
And that's what I'm hearing
yeah,
from most of them. That
Yeah.
you know, yes, you're out there. Yes, when you come in, you still have to go into quarantine, but you
But-
feel closer. You're on
That's right.
home territory.
You're on home
right now.
territory. So, yeah. So,
Well, let's
But-
get into the business at hand. We just released a brand new track. But
Brand new
before we go
single.
into talking about the track, maybe we could take a listen and look at the
okay.
lyrics video that you put
Yeah.
out for that song. I think we have that video
Yes.
queued up.
Video done by Video Slice. Yeah.
Okay.
Music is my gift. Music is life.
Music is my livelihood. Music is life.
The Stronger Together Music for Life concert, Friday, June 12th, 8:30 p.m. Watch us live on Calabash TV, Instagram, and Facebook. Buy your tickets at easyclicktickets.com.
We'll get back to that in a moment. That video.
Yeah.
I understand the pain you feel today. I see the tears you cannot wipe away. That clouds like they're here to stay. They just don't wanna blow away. God knows, yeah. A time may come, yes, you feel you want to give up. Keep stepping forward, don't you ever stop. Watching the days and how they roll along. A change is coming and it won't be long. God knows everything will be alright. Even though it hurts a while. And the trials, though they come, oh my friend, just hold on strong. Everything will be alright. Yeah. After the winter, spring, the summer, then fall. Though they're different, but God made them all. Life as we know is a constant change. If we must grow, then we must rearrange. God knows, yeah. I see the dawning of a brand new day. All the children will come out and play. Our burdens, let them drift away. Rejoice and sing, let us laugh and say, God knows everything will be alright. Even though it hurts a while. And the trials, though they come, oh my friend, just hold on strong. Everything will be alright. Yeah.
And that was Semi Francis there doing Everything Is Gonna Be Alright. What was the inspiration behind that song?
Oh man, hard times, gloom and doom.
But from that song that you're very optimistic
Yeah,
that we're gonna be okay. We'll get
I
over
had to
this.
convince myself that, you know, it's gonna be all right.
Yes.
The storm can't last forever, you know. So it couldn't go, you know. When you get to rock bottom, the only way
is up from there.
up from there. So, you know.
We have joining us on the line right now another one of our celebrity entertainers here in Saint Lucia. Good day, are you there?
Hey, Tony, what's up?
I'm good, how are you doing?
I'm good, not too bad.
I have
big
your
shout
good
to
friend
Semi.
Semi Francis in studio.
Yeah,
here
man,
with
my
me.
boy there. I love that song, Semi. Big up yourself. I love it,
Thank you,
man.
my brother.
Yes, and you guys
Awesome.
also did a wonderful job on that COVID-19 song a couple of months ago.
Oh yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, that's the top song for the year. That's the biggest hit
Right,
for the
right.
year.
Right now we're talking about Stronger Together, music for live concerts to benefit St. Lucian musicians. You're part of this event. Tell me
I
a
am.
little bit about that.
Well, here's what. I'm just happy to be a part of the movement. I think big shout out to Heidi. She's been so instrumental in my growth, and when she pretty much, it was Heidi and Ace, and big shout out to them. When they told me about the whole initiative, I was down for it. I think what we're doing now is trying to build a fund for the artists to be a part of. I think this is it's been a while. It's been a long time coming. But like I said, I guess Corona revealed so much to us, and it's very important to have a fund for the artists. So tonight is just a matter of some of the Lucians' best, putting on their best foot forward to, you know, nice up the vibe. You know, it starts at 8:30 tonight. It will be live on Calabash TV and YouTube and IG. So I'm just happy to be a part of it, and hopefully it's a start of great things for artists, especially if something like this happens again.
Most definitely. And in terms of your performances this evening, how many songs could we look forward to from you tonight?
I'm doing one number. There's so many artists, so many talents to perform tonight. So I'm doing one number and one original, and I'm also doing a collaboration with Keo and Rashad on our latest single of our album called Birds. So I'll be doing two numbers, but one original.
With such a vast repertoire, it must have been very difficult for you to choose which song you were going to do tonight.
That's correct. But I chose the crowd's favorite. I think everyone will be happy about the track I chose to do.
How did you do your intel on Instagram? How did you come with the crowd favorite?
I knew it was a crowd favorite because everything I dropped afterwards, it didn't make any
They keep reminding you of going back to that one song.
They keep reminding me to go back, you know, but I feel like it's not good as, you know. So that's how I was able to get the information and realize the crowd's favorite. But hopefully that changes soon.
Well, just reminding folks, it's all about Stronger Together, music for live concert to benefit St. Lucian musicians. It's a coalition of St. Lucia's music industry partners and practitioners. They have teamed up to provide support for the artists through the Stronger Together Music is Live concert. It's on this evening, June 12th, on Calabash TV at 8:30 p.m. You can also follow them on Instagram as well as on Facebook. And we're encouraging folks to purchase a ticket. You could go to easyclicktickets.com. It's $15, a contribution. You're not actually paying to go to a concert. It's making a contribution to the artists. And everything raised will go towards support for our entertainers, which is very, very critical at this time. Michael, we still have you there?
Yes, I'm here.
How have you been coping? Not being able to be engaged in your live performances. How have you been handling that?
Tony, you have to be honest, and it's been rough. It's been a roller coaster mentally, emotionally, even physically. It's so easy to get distracted because you're at home, you know, and I'm so used to being out. And when I go out, this is where I recharge. You know, this is where I kind of get my inspiration, and not being able to do that often, it kind of put me in a place where sometimes you get discouraged, you know. But I think what I realized recently is that it's important to keep the music alive, because I believe that right now the world is connecting through music. It's really the universal language. It's what heals as well. It's proven to heal. So I think when that thought, kind of passed through the mind again, I got a little inspiration that I really not need to think of myself, but also need to think of those around me, and why not continue music? So I've been back in the studio, I've been back writing, and but it's been rough.
Mm-hmm.
It's been rough.
What have been some of your coping mechanisms?
Taking a drive. I don't stay home. Well, obviously the advice is to stay home, but sometimes I just pretty much drive by the beach during the day and just take care of my mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Take a break. It's very important to take care of our mental health right now, given the circumstances. We don't have any income coming in, because I worked in the hotels as well, just like Semi, and I guess he and I know how rough it is.
It's
like
rough,
he said, coming from a 7 day,
it's rough, man.
7 day, coming from 7 day and to 0 nights, like it's a mental thing as well. And obviously you still have families to feed, and also, we could also look at the digital platforms. Like it's very tough as an artist in Saint Lucia. I will let everybody know that it's not easy, but that's why we want to encourage everybody to continue to support the artists, because at the end of the day, we need the music. I know a lot of people are asking for music, but we also have to understand that it's an investment. It's also artists investing and putting out money that we're not sure of in return. So we just need everybody to come together and understand that we need each other, and we'll be okay. We'll be all right.
Mm-hmm. That's why at this time, Micheal Robinson, I just need you one more time to encourage folks to tune in this evening to the Stronger Together Music for Life concert.
Music for Life, yes. So I want to encourage everybody. Like I said, I'm just so happy to be a part of the initiative. There's so many great artists who were not able to come on, but we're doing this for everybody, because I believe that we're one. So I don't want anybody to feel left out. But this is a start of great things. So I just want to encourage everybody to go online, purchase a ticket. I think it's $15. It's pretty much like a contribution. It's not like an actual ticket, because everything is virtual. But if you feel like you need to give more, then feel free to go ahead. But I think it's time we support each other and just take care of each other. So see you guys tonight, 8:30. Be on time, not Lucian time. We'll be on time, 8:30 p.m.
Thank you, Micheal Robinson, for that. And I'll be tuning in as well, and all the best to you and all the other St. Lucian entertainers who have been keeping our spirits alive, particularly during this time. Let's take a look at the promo video for that event here.
Music is my gift. Music is life.
Music is my livelihood. Music is life.
The Stronger Together Music for Life concert, Friday, June 12th, 8:30 p.m. Watch us live on Calabash TV, Instagram, and Facebook. Buy your tickets at easyclicktickets.com.
And of course, we just heard that from Micheal Robinson, one of the performers for the Stronger Together Music for Life concert to benefit St. Lucian musicians. And we're asking all our people in the diaspora right here at home, wherever you are, please join in this evening, make your contribution, whatever it is that you could contribute. And remember that all of these funds will be going towards supporting our St. Lucian artists. They really need us at this particular time. Of course, I'm sure you'll be following this evening.
I'll be watching.
Have you been doing anything virtual as well?
Yeah, I've done a couple of them. I've done 2 of them, and there's one on the 27th.
27th
of this month.
Of this month.
Yeah.
That's 2 Fridays.
Yeah.
2 Saturdays. I think
Saturdays.
it's Saturday.
Okay.
What time will that be on?
I didn't get all the details yet. I was on the move, so I'll have to.
All right, but folks could follow social media and just
for sure.
Try to find you. Where could we find you on Instagram, Facebook, what have you?
I'm a Facebook person. The Instagram, I'm still.
You love Facebook.
I love Facebook.
This is the demographics, you know. They said some of the younger folks have left Facebook.
They have left Facebook for
us older
Instagram.
people. And you could find them on Instagram.
There's still a white community over there, so
definitely, definitely. We have another one of the performers on the line who will be Stronger Together Music for Life concert this evening. I think we have Manasseh on the line.
Yes, where am I?
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I could hear you. Who do you have on the line right now?
Manessa Lord.
Oh, Minister Lord, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Okay, and you're all set for your performance this evening. We're looking
Yes.
forward to hearing you, to seeing you.
Wonderful.
What was the feedback like when you decided, well, you're going to be on this event this evening?
Well, my people are supportive.
And have you been doing your whole Instagram thing, encouraging your fans, your supporters to contribute and to come on board this evening?
Well, can I be honest? I only started today.
Oh, okay. Well, it's never too late. You still have a few hours. It's at 8:30 this evening.
Yes,
So,
so I have been sharing today.
beg your pardon?
I have been sharing today.
Most definitely. That is very, very important. What could you really look forward to hearing and seeing from you this evening?
Well, I'll take it on more on the mellow side. I'm doing something more subtle. Yes.
Is it an original number?
Yes, always original. And I sing in the gospel area.
Okay. For folks hearing your voice and probably do not know who you are, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am Manessa. I'm originally from Supra, and I have been singing for as long as I know myself. I recently released an EP in 2017, an EP of seven songs. And from there, I have been recording professionally. Prior to that, I have been doing ministry with church. And prior to that, I had been performing at hotels whatsoever. Just to go back a little further, in 2006, I took part in the regional contest that was Digicel's Rising Star. I made it to the top 2 finalists. Yeah. What else is it that you would like to know?
Oh, so you've been around for a while. I won't call you a veteran, but you've been around for a while.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just want you right now to use this platform to promote tonight's event, Stronger Together, encourage your fans, your listeners, the viewers to this program to join in this evening.
Okay, then I'm calling out everybody who's hearing my voice. You know, follow the link, Stronger Together. There's a link on my page as well, Manessa Lord. You follow the link, make a contribution of $15 or more if you can, to support the local music industry in Saint Lucia, yeah?
Okay, thank you for that, and we do look forward to seeing you and hearing you 8:30 this evening, 8:30 on Calabash TV as well as on Instagram and Facebook. So all the best to you.
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, so quite a variety we're going to be having this evening. Of course, this is one of the beautiful things of Saint Lucia, our various genres, you know, not just calypso and soca and Dennery segment, but you have hip-hop, you have R&B, gospel, dancehall, and all of these genres will be put on show.
Saint Lucia is a wealth of talent, you know.
Yes, yes. But the thing now is for us to begin to really harness that talent and really begin to monetize that talent.
I think what we need to do is to, we can't say when this COVID thing is over. We have to coexist. We have to coexist with COVID now. So one of the things we could be doing is, you know, to actually coming together, like say R&B or soca or reggae, and you know, we could probably do compilations and try to get it out there. You know, so Saint Lucia music. Push Saint Lucia music. You know, a couple of years ago, I started a site called Saint Lucia Tunes. So the domain is still there. So that might be something to revive.
So somebody could partner with you
and revive this, you know, Saint Lucia Tunes. So you want Saint Lucia music, you could get all Saint Lucia musicians on there, all you know, all genres of music on there.
And we need to support our own a lot more.
Absolutely.
Not just seasonally, but even in terms of airplay, what the radio stations are playing.
Exactly.
Because it boils back to another aspect of things when it comes to copyright and the artist receiving the royalties.
That's right.
You're a member of ECHO?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Actually, a member of ECHO. Well, I first joined BMI because that was I've been around for a little bit.
Yes, folks, you had a big international contract once upon a time with the group Summit. Summit was the name of the group.
Summit, yes. But I've been around. But yeah, Echo, and now we have Stump, the Association of Producers, Musicians, and Performers.
Right.
So AMP is gonna come in and offer some more benefits to the artists. So
and I think this evening's event is sanctioned by AMP as well as Export Saint Lucia, the Cultural Development Foundation, Balance Inc., The Wave, Rendezvous, Blazing FM, Saint Lucia National Trust, Azuk Events, Ocean Brand Consulting, and Studio 758, all coming together, collaborating to put on this concert this evening.
Excellent.
Music is Live concert. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to this evening.
Yes, it should be a good event. Pull out your popcorn tonight, and
You're free to say something else. You're free to say grab that bottle of your favorite drink. You don't have to say what it is, and gather with a few of your friends. Once that number remains under 10, I think is the legal requirement. Social distancing, and we could really follow and share that event. Post what's happening on Facebook, so the rest of the world know that we're coming together. The entertainment fraternity, our creators are really coming together to inspire us, to keep us entertained.
It's a very good initiative.
Yes. Whilst at the same time, we as individuals going to give something back to them, showing our support.
Because, it has always been where the entertainers come in to rally for,
Right.
And it's really humbling now to see that now the entertainers, are being taken care of now, being thought of. So whoever thought of the idea, very, very thoughtful.
Most definitely. Final words from you before we wrap up?
Just want to thank all those who worked with me on the track, because in spite of the fact that I had to do most of the heavy lifting, but Mirai, Saint Louis, Toffee on guitar, Daniel mixing, and who else I missed out? Chocolate guided me on the vocals because she couldn't come to the studio, so she just sent me some voice notes, what I should sing, so I had to do all the backups myself.
And she's one of our frontline soldiers.
She's one of our frontline soldiers,
yes.
So she guided me on, on the backups. And I want to video slice for doing the video, lyric video, and my son, I must give him credit.
Yes.
I say, AJ, can you do me,
the graphics.
Graphics. And so I want to thank my son for doing the graphics, and everybody else who has helped me, Jackie, Ian, everybody who supported me. And I just want to thank everybody for the continued support. And go out and check out the track. It's on YouTube. It's on Facebook. Everything Will Be All Right by Semi.
Most definitely. Everything will be all right, Saint Lucia. Thank you for staying with us all week long. And remember, you can join Jesse, Carlton, Lisa, and myself live tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. for the weekend review right here at the Information Command Center. It's usually a lively discussion on the issues this week. Until then, I say goodbye for now. Stay safe. Enjoy a COVID-free weekend. And remember, everything will definitely be all right. Let's take a listen to that wonderful song by my good friend Semi Francis as we end today's.
Yeah. Understand the pain you feel today. I see the tears you cannot wipe away. That clouds like they're here to stay. They just don't wanna blow away. God knows, yeah. A time may come, yes, you feel you want to give up. Keep stepping forward, don't you ever stop. Watching the days and how they roll along. The change is coming and it won't be long. God knows everything will be alright. Even though it hurts a while, and the trials though they come, oh my friend, just hold on strong. Everything will be alright. over the winter, spring, the summer, then fall. Though they're different, but God made them all. Life as we know is a constant change. If we must grow, then we must rearrange. God knows, yeah. I see the dawning of a brand new day. All the children will come out and play. Our burdens, let them drift away. Rejoice and sing, let us laugh and say, God knows.